One company now has more control over artificial intelligence than the US government, China, and every tech giant on Earth combined. Most people can't even tell you what they actually make. In 1996, they were 90 days from bankruptcy. Today, they're worth more than the entire economy of Germany. This is how Nvidia quietly took over the world. 1993. Three engineers meet in a Denny's booth in San Jose with $40,000 and no product. They build a chip meant to make video games look real, and name the company Nvidia, from Nvidia, the Latin word for envy. Their first chip flops. Their second barely survives. By 1996, they have weeks of cash left. Then comes the Riva 128. It sells 1 million units in 4 months, and Nvidia discovers something nobody else understands yet. A rendering engine could be worth more than the processor everyone else is fighting over. But even the founders have no idea what they've actually built, because the real breakthrough isn't coming from gamers at all. In 2006, Nvidia does something that makes Wall Street nervous, pouring billions into something almost nobody wants yet, called CUDA. It's a way to let graphics chips do raw mathematical computation, the kind used in science, simulation, and something still considered science fiction: artificial intelligence. For nearly a decade, CUDA makes the company almost no money. Analysts call it a distraction. Some board members reportedly want it killed. But CEO Jensen Huang keeps funding it anyway. While everyone else optimizes for gamers, Nvidia is secretly building the exact infrastructure deep learning researchers will need a decade later. Then, in 2012, 3 researchers use Nvidia chips to win an image recognition competition by a margin nobody thought possible. The AI world takes notice, and Nvidia's decade-long gamble is about to pay off in a way that reshapes the global economy. By the early 2020s, every major tech company on Earth is racing to build artificial intelligence. OpenAI, Google, Microsoft, Meta, all competitors to each other. But there's one company all of them depend on equally: Nvidia. Training a large language model needs an almost unimaginable amount of raw computing power, and Nvidia's chips are the only ones capable of doing it at scale. Here's the number that stunned Wall Street. In a single quarter, Nvidia's data center revenue grows by over 400%. Companies aren't just buying chips anymore. They're begging for them, waiting months, paying premiums for access. Some CEOs reportedly fly to Nvidia's headquarters personally to negotiate supply. In the middle of the biggest technology race in modern history, the deciding factor isn't who has the best AI model. It's who can get enough Nvidia chips. And that gives one company something almost no business in history has ever had: leverage over its own customers. Here's what most people miss about Nvidia's power. It was never just about the chips. It was about the software glued to them. By now, millions of developers had built their entire AI infrastructure on top of CUDA. Switching away wasn't just expensive. For many, it was nearly impossible. That's called a moat. Not a wall you build once, but a trap that gets deeper the longer people stay inside it. In 2023, Nvidia crossed $1 trillion valuation. By 2024, it had briefly become the most valuable company on the planet. More valuable than Apple, more valuable than Google. A graphics card company, worth more than entire nations' economies. But the same success that made Nvidia untouchable also made it a target. And competitors had already started building their escape route. Nvidia's reach goes far beyond AI labs. Its chips sit inside hospital diagnostic systems reading X-rays faster than doctors can. Inside self-driving cars making split-second road decisions. Inside military simulation systems used by multiple governments. Inside most of the AI tools you've used this week, whether you realized it or not. Almost none of this was a grand plan from day one. It happened because Nvidia quietly kept building the one thing every future technology would eventually need: raw computational power. Nvidia didn't take over the world with a loud announcement. It became the invisible layer underneath almost everything else, the thing nobody sees, but nothing else works without. But total control over critical infrastructure always attracts attention. And by 2024, some of the most powerful governments on Earth started asking the same dangerous question. What happens if one company controls too much of the future? The pushback came from every direction at once. The United States restricted the sale of Nvidia's most advanced chips to certain countries. China, in response, began pouring billions into building its own chip industry from scratch. Meanwhile, Nvidia's own customers, the very companies buying billions in chips every year, started quietly designing their own custom AI chips, trying to reduce how dependent they were. It's one of the strangest dynamics in modern business history. The same customers keeping Nvidia's stock price soaring were simultaneously funding their own escape plan. New competitors, smelling opportunity, started raising billions in venture capital, all promising a cheaper, faster alternative. So the real question isn't whether Nvidia built an empire. It clearly did. The real question is whether that empire can survive the very forces its own success awakened. So where does this leave the company that quietly rewired the global economy? Nvidia isn't slowing down. It's expanding into robotics, self-driving simulation worlds, and building the AI infrastructure entire countries are now racing to secure, treating it as seriously as oil or electricity. Some analysts believe we're only in the early years of this story. Others believe the empire has already peaked. Nobody knows for certain which prediction wins. But one thing is impossible to deny. The decisions made inside this one company are now shaping AI, national security, healthcare, and the global economy all at once. A graphics card company from a Denny's booth in 1993 became one of the most powerful entities on Earth. And it happened so quietly, most of the world only noticed after it had already happened.
No one knows exactly how the future will unfold. Artificial intelligence could create opportunities we cannot yet imagine. Or it could transform the global workforce in ways never seen before. But if AI continues to advance, humanity may eventually face a remarkable question. When machines can do almost everything, what is left for us? Will humans always have a unique role? Or are we moving toward a future where machines perform nearly every task? Perhaps the last job humans ever have won't be building technology. It'll be deciding what technology should become. The future has not been written yet, and the choices we make today may shape the world for generations. So here's a question for you. What do you think will be the last job humans ever have? Let us know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this documentary, be sure to subscribe to Future Ledger for more stories about artificial intelligence, technology, business, and the ideas shaping our future. Thanks for watching.